Okay. Here we are. If I can finally... There we go. Welcome everyone to this third round of Season 8 in Phoenix. It's tier 2 today and 19 drivers joining us for today's race. And we're in the beautiful Austria, in Melbourne, the beautiful park, or whatever you call it. So let's see. So first driver out on track, who will probably start the first lap of qualifying, will be Mr. Bust in that Alpine. And Mr. Bust, I think last race finished... Ooh, I need to remember. No idea. Somewhere in the points, I believe. But maybe with penalties, I think he may have dropped outside the points, but that's okay. But here we go. Let's good see what he can do on this lap. Obviously, track evolution won't be at its highest at the start of qualifying, so we won't be seeing the most fastest laps from these drivers. But let's see, Mr. Bust, that is around the second braking zone we go of the lap now. And this section can be quite tricky to get right, but if you do, you will gain a lot of time. Traction is crucial to that section. That's sector 1 complete. 27.0 for that first sector, and obviously purple first sector because it's the first driver to start a lap. This second sector is basically a flat out straight with some turns, and that is the end of that second sector. And into the third sector we go now, which can be quite tricky to get right. It's all basically V corners, so traction and braking is very important through this section here. But here comes Mr. Bust now through the penultimate corner he goes, and now around the final corner to set a, let's see what it will be, DRS enabled for this final straight. A 17.8. We have a Red Bull of Myths who's about to finish their lap. Can he beat Mr. Bust's time? Yes, he can, by 2/10. Then an Alpine crossing line, that's Mr. Bust's teammate, and the Mercedes of Arrow, that was, who crossed the line to set in 18.2. So far these gaps are looking very, very close. Jakes goes up into P5. The Ferrari starting a lap now. The other Red Bull of Chewy Toffee about to finish his lap. Let's see what he can do. Cross the line to go into provisional pole ahead of his teammate. Provisional Red Bull 1-2. Interesting. Very interesting. As Flynn goes up into P7, that's the Aston Martin of, I think, Chris, that is, who's about to finish his lap on the medium tires to put it up into P6. Actually, that is not bad for a medium tire lap. As Snaf goes up into P5, we have a Haas, I think. No, the Haas enters the pit. I think that was everyone who was on a lap. We see Pinax, who is on a lap currently, the only driver who's on a valid lap so far. Let's see what he can do in that brilliant looking Ferrari. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of them. Hopefully they get out of the way. Yes, they do. McLaren pulling all the way to the right, and Pinax around the final couple of corners he goes. Let's see what he can set around the penultimate corner now. And now around the final corner, DRS enabled, and a long run up to the finish line. What will be for Pinax? It's a 118.0, good enough for P6. And these gaps, wow, they are looking very, very competitive right now. Very close. Is there anyone else on a lap? I think Fat Cat starting his lap on his home track as well. Ended off there, just about managing to keep within track limits at the exit of turn 1. But so far, he was right on the limits. What has that gained him time though around this? Oh, he goes very wide. I think that was a lookup potentially for him. That will lose him a lot of time, really fighting his car through the section. Goes off track from what I saw, but no invalidation there by the looks of it for him. And 27.2 for the first sector. That's 2/10 lower than Mr. Bust. And Mr. Bust up into the second row. if he's 2 tenths slower, then Fat Cat will find himself around in 6th place. But can he find more time in Sector 2 and Sector 3? That is Sector 2 complete. And oh, Fat Cat has a spin, actually loses it. I think that was potentially taking too much curb or too much speed to the apex, and the rear just not having that and spinning out. And that will be his lap over. Does he have enough ERS to go for another lap? I don't think he will. So he'll need to pit, put on a new set of tires and go for another lap. Texas Alfa Romeo has invalidated his lap, so he won't be setting a valid lap on the board either. As I think Crumpets is on the lap. Let's see what he can do. The Williams driver in the second braking zone. We go into turn 3. We go very nice lines, using all of the track he's got and keeping it. Sorry for the coughing, a bit sick, but here we go. Crumpets around. Oh my god, okay. In Sector 2 we go now with Crumpet, DRS wide open, and this is where we'll see most of the moves in the race because of this long DRS straight, and potentially onto the next short DRS straight, which is after these S's right here. Crumpet's keeping it within track limits, just within track limits, and then DRS wide open once again, braking late into this corner here within track limits, using that curb on the exit, and now turning in for this fast right-hander, keeping it within track limits again, and now left and a right-hand corner. This is where traction is very important, and Crumpet's doing it very nicely through that section. What kind of lap time will it be for Crumpet? Cross the line to put it up into P9 ahead of Jake's, with the purple Sector 3 as well. Let's see who else is on a lap. I think just a couple of drivers starting their lap now. Kakarina's starting their lap in P12, who missed out on that race win on that final sector in that first round. Let's see what he can do today. I think he missed out in the last round. But he's back now. Let's see what he can do. He's definitely a very competitive driver, very fast driver. So we'll definitely keep an eye out on him in the race as well. As that is Sector 1 complete. Purple Sector 1 for Kakarina's 26.7. Absolutely flying through that first sector. And now into the second sector we go. Basically as straight as I said. It is just about carrying the shortest line possible. And heading into the S's now. Taking a lot of curb, which can gain a lot of time within the track limits. Very nice from Kakarina so far. Very neat lap. And now we'll be heading into this a bit of a weird apex, I would say, very sharp apex, but Kakarina's spot on there, hit that apex exactly as you have to. Same for this one, using the exit and now braking for the penultimate corner. Good apex once again, can he get good traction? He's a bit tentative, but that is the final corner complete. Up the line we'll go. Will it be provisional pole for Kakarina's? Yes, it will be provisional pole by Kakarina's for more than a tenth to P2 from Myths. Actually, no, Myths just went up to P2. Yeah, Myths just improved and goes up into P2, but not enough to overtake Kakarina's on the standings. We have a McLaren. That's the McLaren of Flynn, who's about to finish his lap. Has he found any more time on this lap? Looks like he has, and he goes up into P6. Let's see what his teammate can do. His teammate has invalidated. I think he'll be starting a new lap now. And that is the Aston Martin of Chris, I believe, who is on a lap. He's 3 tenths up on his previous lap. Remember, his first lap was on the medium, so he'll be finding a lot more time. Let's see how much more time, though. Where can he put his Aston Martin on the leaderboard around the final corner? DRS wide open, and up to the line we go. What lap time will this be for Chris? Oh, that is a very competitive lap time. He improved by 8 tenths. That's the difference between the mediums and the soft. And Chris goes on to the second row. Not enough for a provisional pole yet, though. 80,000 of a second behind Kakarina's. And Iro about to start his lap. I think many people about to start their lap. The two Haas teammates starting their laps as well now. Trying to see who's on a lap. I think a Ferrari is on a lap. That's Ferrari of Pinax. See what Pinax can do. Can he improve his lap time? He finds himself with a 1:18.0. In sector 3 we go now. Where can you find more lap time? Into the penultimate corner we'll be heading, braking, and good traction for the Ferrari man as well. The RS wide open, and up the line we go again. And what lap time was with Pinax? It is an improvement, and it's only improvement for P8. He puts himself ahead of Snaf. But the smallest improvement can make the biggest difference here. If we look at the gaps, the top 11 are all within a second of each other. We all still have 4 drivers who still need setting a valid lap. 3 of them have retired. I think 2 of them were quali bans. They might all have been quali bans, I'm not sure. On 6 minutes remaining the session, almost everyone is in the pit, so it's very quiet. Tixnix is on a lap, and I think he's the only driver. Or is D-Heats about to finish his lap? Yes, he is. D-Heats, I've seen. He's been a very rapid driver in the past. And there you go. He goes up the provisional pole by a 10th almost to Kakarinas. It's going to be another battle with for D-Heats for that race win probably. And Kakarinas will be up there as well. Chris as well. The top 4 are all within almost a 10th of each other. That is incredible. Let me just there we go. See what Tixnix can do actually. Around the final corner he goes now. What will it be for Tixnix? He's been a decently fast driver in the past. He goes up into P6. Good lap from him. And that's his first time lap of the session as well. Well then, very quiet on track. Very quiet on track. You don't usually see the track being this quiet. I don't think any drivers on a lap. No, we don't have a single driver on a lap. So it is very quiet. To have 2 people on their out laps though. That's the Haas and Fat Cat Batman in P17. Oh, there we go. Baltus managed to join the session, so he'll be racing, I think. He will only have time for 1 lap, as Deadly Minion is going very slowly over their line. I think he might be trying to do 2 warm-up laps. Still not a single driver out to set in a valid timed lap. Fat Cat about to start a timed lap though. Let's see what he can do after. We'll go on board with him for this lap. We saw him getting very close to the track limits on this previous lap. Once again very close to the track limit by carrying a lot of speed to that first corner. And now this is the first DRS straight of the lap so far. And straight is actually a very unique track. It's got 4 DRS straights, so overtaking will be quite easy, as Fat Cat invalidates his lap actually out of turn 4. And that's his lap over. He will have enough time to recharge his DRS and go for another try on his next lap. He's got 2.5 minutes remaining in the race. You can see everyone is currently exiting the pits. Only 2 drivers still in the pits. So this is going to get very spicy. Who will win the battle for pole position in Australia here? Here we go, Myth starting his lap now in that Red Bull. He's definitely a contender for pole position here today. Let's see what he can do. Braking late for turn 3, getting that apex, hitting that apex just as you should do, and hitting that apex to the left hand side again. Really nicely, and now into the sector 2 we goes. At purple sector 1, not quite. He's basically matched his personal best. Can he find more time in these remaining 2 sectors? He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully he does not get impeded. You can see his tires all the way up to the marbles. However, marbles he can easily go away in this long straight here. And now into the X section we go. Very good speed from Mids. Does slightly miss the apex though, but keeps it within track limits. Has slightly getting in his way there, but not quite impeding him. And now into this tricky third sector we go. What can Mids do? Fat Cat retires from the session, so he won't be improving his lap time. He didn't even set the lap time. That's what Mids can do around the penultimate corner. Now getting good traction by the looks of it. Will it be provisional pole for Mids? He'll get a small tow from his teammate in front. Will that help him to get pole position? Yes, it does help him. It's a 17.2 for Mids. Who can beat that though? Chris starting his lap time. Is that Tixnix right behind him? Yes, that is Tixnix, but he's invalidated. He won't have enough time to go for another lap. So Tixnix will be starting P6 at best. D-Heat starting his lap as well. Kakarina's on a lap as well. This is going to get very, very spicy. See what Deadly Millen can do. About to cross the line. Where can he put himself? Up into P13. The McLaren of, I believe that is Jake's. No, it's not Jake's. It's Flynn. Crosses the line to, I think, start his lap now. And Williams. Okay, missed that. Myths retires from the session. Obviously, he wouldn't do another valid lap anyway in this qualifying. But let's see. I think that is Snaf about to finish his lap. Where can he put himself? Jack Evolution will be playing a big role now. Snaf goes up into P4. That is an incredible lap from him. Let's see what is that an Alpine? Yes, it is an Alpine. Mr. Bust goes up into P6 with a 2.5 tenth improvement. That is the Aston Martin of Chris going up into P2, missing out on missing out on pole position. Kakarinas, can he get pole position in the Alfa Romeo? Crossing the line now, yes he can, and he just about puts in a sub 17 lap. D-Heats goes up into P2. Chuitofi is yet to do his lap, but he won't be improving. He's abandoned his lap. The McLaren of Flynn is yet to set in a lap. Let's see what he can do. Can Flynn put it up into pole position? He needs to find around the second if he wants to, but Flynn crossing the line now to put himself up into P8. Who else is on a lap? Arrow is on a lap. Deadly Millen is on a lap. However, he's flashing, so I don't think he will be improving. No, Deadly Millen will not be improving. Arrow also not improving by the looks of it. He's backed out, so that is the end of qualifying. Kakarinas, the only driver to set in the sub 17 lap by 1,000th of a second, and the gap between P1 and P2 is almost a tenth. What an amazing lap from Kakarinas. Amazing lap from these as well. These two will be fighting it out for the win. And the gap to the rest of the field is, it looks like the top two are just in a league of their own basically, but usually the difference of pace in the race is much closer than what it is in qualifying. So we're up for a very exciting race. We've got 4 DRS straights on this track, so it will be difficult to break away from the drivers behind you once they get within that DRS range. Here are the quali results then. Kakarinas in first place with a 16.999. Incredible lap from him. D-Heats in second. Myths in third. Chris in fourth. Good lap from him and amazing effort to put it up into the second row. Snaf in fifth with an incredible lap as well. That came out of nowhere. Went from 10th or 11th all the way up to 5th. Also a big improvement for him in the end there. Chuitov, he did not manage to put in that final lap, and he will be starting in 6th. Mr. Bust in 7th, and don't have time to look at the rest. Well, then we're about to start the race. I have no idea how many laps the race will be. Well then, let's see. We'll have a full grid, I believe. So it will be tight heading into that first corner. It can be very tight as well. Hopefully the drivers manage to keep it clean though. It's Kakarines who will be starting on pole position. Can he get a good start of the heats, or will we see someone else potentially up there as well? What will the tire strategies be? That is the big question that we will have answered very soon. Still waiting. And here we go for the third round in Season 8. We're in Australia and the lights are out now, and away we go. It looks like a very good start from Kakarines in first place. D-Heat's not the best start of him. He is very close to Kakarines though, but I think Myths has made contact. Myths and Chris spins as well. There's already two people spinning out. Are there any more people involved? We see front wings flying off all over the place in the back. Something has happened in the back. That's a Williams who spun out. Myths and Chris all the way in the back as well. Yellow flag. I think that's a virtual safety car. Already a big crash in the back, many people with damage. There was front wings flying all over the place. The McLaren of Jake's missing his right end plate. Does Myths have any damage? Myths, I don't see any damage on Myths' car. The Williams reverse with no front wing is Chris. Did he survive? By the looks of it, Chris did survive. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. Luckily for him, he got ghosted. Otherwise, he would have been collected by everyone. But Kakarines escaped all the mess, and he's now got a 2.5 second gap to Snaf behind him. Toffee up into P3 as well. I have no idea what happened in the start. There are people tapping each other and just flying into the wall. It can get pretty tricky when you see drivers in front of you spinning. You need to take avoiding action. Your brake, someone goes into the back of you. It's basically a chain reaction. Snaf is spitting. That is very interesting. He's spitting. Did we see anyone else spitting? Yes, we do. That's the Haas of D-Heat. He's got no front wing, I think. Oh, almost touching the Alpine of Mr. Bust. The virtual safety car has ended, so they'll be losing time now. Everyone's gone back to racing speed. They probably did gain a bit of time at the start when they pitted because the virtual safety car is still out then. But Toffee up into P2 after Snaf in front of him pitted. He does have a rapid Aston Martin of Martijn right behind him, already putting him under big pressure. Will we see Martijn going for a move in the long straight in sector 2? He'll sting. Oh, Martijn has a spin. Oh, he's lucky to keep that one out of the wall. I don't think he might have made a bit of contact with his rear wing there, so he might have rear wing damage, but that was a big mistake, and it's cost him so many places. Down to P14 now. Myths fighting it out with Dave, who has been who's disconnected actually. As here we go, Flynn goes up into P3 now. He finds himself 2 seconds behind Toffee. The McLaren of Tixnix already putting Flynn under pressure. What we see is Tixnix close enough to go for a move. He does have the softer combat as well. Let's take a look at the tire strategy actually. You can see the top 2 are on the soft tires. But here comes Tixnix on Flynn. He pulls alongside into turn 1 and he's ahead at the braking zone. That's an easy move. However, he does not keep it clean though. So Flynn gets a switch back on him. Does Flynn have the speed to re-overtake him back? Not quite. Flynn concedes the position in the back. That's Pinax going for a move on the Williams, and Pinax successfully ahead. Oh, Alpha, the Ferrari of the Ghost Rider had a look in the Williams. That was a very late move. However, they did not make contact though. The Williams left space for him just at the last moment, but luckily they get away with no contact. Here we go. That moment has cost Ghost Rider a bit of time. The AlphaTauri very close to him now in the straight. You can see DRS has been enabled. Kakarina's up front with a 4-second lead. Absolutely incredible lead from Kakarina so far. If he can continue like this, he might even put in a grand slam if he gets the fastest lap. But as I said, once you get within the DRS zone, it's very difficult. Actually, no. Once the drivers behind you are within a DRS, it's very difficult to get them outside that DRS, since you basically have DRS in every single sector. You have 4 DRS straights, and that will gain you so much time when you have the DRS. It's just crucial. As here we go, Baltas, who started last, I believe, now AlphaTauri, he finds himself up into P8. He is he is on that harder compound as well, and he's still hanging on nicely with that group. So later on in the race, we might see him on a massive charge to all the drivers ahead of him. He does find himself in a big DRS strain, so he does need to do his best to stay within that DRS. But this is looking very good for Baltas at the moment. Ghost Rider, I think, is going for a move. Yes, he is going for a move on the Williams and makes that one successfully stick. And ahead, Ghost Rider up into P6 now. As Pinax overtakes Flynn actually for P5. And Pinax with a great exit. Flynn, not the best of exit. He wanted to get his beats on the curve. But we see Ghost Rider going for a move. Does he go for a late dive? Not quite. That's Baltas in the back overtaking Crumpets for P7. So Baltas, swiping on the harder tires, still overtaking drivers. Oh, here we go. Baltas now under pressure from Crumpets. I think Baltas had a bit of a moment in that penultimate corner where he manages to stay ahead of the Williams driver. But that battle, or that moment, has cost him a bit of time. To P6 in front. Can he make that back up? Here we go, Arrow looking to go for a move on the Williams. Down the inside he goes. He's on that softer compound, so braking for him will be much better. And Arrow up into P8 he goes now. Myths now pressurizing the other Williams. She's on the soft, so will be much quicker compared to him in the corners. You can see he's almost pushing him along. He even needs to lift. Crumpets, a bit of a moment for him out of the exit there, but can Myths get him? Now he is using DRS, and he does get him. And with that DRS with that DRS, Flynn goes up into P9, and he's very close to Arrow now. Will Myths go for a move on Arrow in the short DRS straight here? He's definitely looking to go for it. He has that slipstream, he has that extra straight line speed, and down the inside he goes into the right hander. They're still side by side. Arrow is not willing to give this one up, but Myths, I think, with the inside line through here, can he make it stick? No. Arrow keeps it around the outside and stays in P8. Brilliant battling by the two of them, but it has cost them a lot of time to retain ahead. They're now outside the DRS. 3 seconds is the gap now, and that will be a difficult task to make up for again. But here comes Myths. This time around he has made the move stick and is successfully ahead of Arrow, and has the DRS as well. Arrow lets the Williams through as well of Crumpets. Here you go, Tixnix up into P3, still leading this DRS train here. Pinax behind, just about hanging on within that 1 second gap to get that crucial DRS. Pinax is flashing though. He's used most of his DRS, so I wonder how much longer can he stay within that DRS of the Alfa Romeo. And when will Flynn attack? Because Flynn has got half of his battery pack to use. And that can be a massive advantage. When you're flashing, you will also lose power, battery power, when you're not even using your S, so that will cost you a couple of tenths per lap as well. Ghost Rider all over the back of the McLaren. Where can you overtake him? Slightly taps the grass there. That affected his caused him to get a bit of understeer, but it's Ghost Rider close enough to go for a move down to turn 1. Doesn't look like he's willing to overtake the McLaren of Flynn in this part of the track yet. However, he might be overtaking any moment here. He's much closer here. He gets a much better exit to Flynn as well, but he's still not close enough to make a move on him yet. Kakarina's still leading, and he's even extended his lead to a 5-second gap now as someone has pitted. That is the Mercedes of Snap for a new front wing as well, so he probably picked up damage somewhere. It might have been because he lost into a wall, or probably contact maybe with another driver. Here we go, Tixnix still leading the terrain then. Pinax, crucial for him, he's still within that DRS, but here comes Ghost Rider on the McLaren, and now, there you go, Ghost Rider does get past the McLaren. Ghost Rider up into P5, the Ferraris are in 4th and 5th now. They can work together to move through and get past the field here. As Fat Cat gets a 5-second penalty. Here we go, we already see team orders as Pinax, I think, may have lifted a bit too much, because he's now been overtaken by the McLaren of Flynn. So was that maybe not the correct part of the track to let your teammate through, because it has now cost you a position, not only a position to your teammate, but a position to Flynn as well. So that may have been a small miscalculation from Pinax. And he now finds himself under pressure for Baltas behind him. Is Baltas close enough to go for a move on the Ferrari? He's rapidly gaining on the straight, but he's not close enough yet. Can he get a better exit compared to Pinax? Yes, he can. Look at how much he gained on the exit. Will he go for a move down into turn 3? Yes, he does. He's rapidly gaining. However, he backs out of it. There are yellow flags. You cannot overtake the yellow flags, or else you will get an illegal overtake. So Baltas had to back out of that battle there. It would have been a good opportunity for him to get past, but unfortunately, he will need to wait a couple more laps to get past him. Pinax, small moment for him out of turn 5, manages to keep the car on track though. Tixnix slowly but yet slowly steady gaining on Chewy Toffee ahead of him in that Red Bull. I wonder when he gets within that DRS, that will put a lot of pressure off him, because he won't have drivers behind him with that DRS rapidly gaining on him on the straights. Well, the biggest battle of the track is currently right here. As Chris retires, does that bring out the safety car? Yes, it does bring out the safety car. You can see Chris just lost it and he's gone into the wall. That is his race over. And that is the first retirement of the race. Has brought out the safety car. That is great news for the soft runners. This would have been the best window for them to pit. Good news for the medium runners as well, but bad news for the hard runners. Will everyone pit onto a new set of mediums, or will they pit onto a new set of hards to extend until the end? By the looks of it, Kakarina's onto a new set of hards, Chewy Toffee on a medium set. Pinax stays out on those mediums. I think he didn't want to double stack with his teammate. The Ghost Rider goes on to a new set of mediums, as Crumpets goes on to the mediums as well. Oh my god, so many changes in the pits. Look at how many people entered the pits. Almost everyone. As Pinax disqualified for ignoring a yellow flag. I think that's because he overtook the safety car. I think that is because he overtook the safety car, yeah. And that just immediately disqualified him. What a game. What a game, no words. That is Pinax's race over. That's very unfortunate. He was looking to potentially even score a podium in this race, but unfortunately, this game is just... yeah. What is going on here? Leaderboard a bit glitched. I don't think we saw many people gaining positions in the pits. Probably a couple, but I don't remember what the standings were before they pitted. Snaf gets a drive through for speeding under the safety car. How did he manage that? He's supposed to catch up to the safety car. I will be right back because I need to get myself a glass of water real quick. And I am back. Okay, so if you are not in this lap, that's because Mr. Fat Cat Batman needs to catch up to the field. I think I saw him just pit for a new set of mediums. No, he didn't pit. Sorry. He didn't pit, but he does need to catch up to the safety car. Hopefully he does that before the end of the next lap so we can get going. So how's everyone doing? How is everyone doing in the chat? Well then, we're just waiting. I think we should get going again at the end of this lap. Oh, is that that's the Ferrari of Ghost Rider has been disconnected. Hopefully he can join back. There we go, safety car in this lap is Fat Cat. Can Fat Cat catch up to the field on time to have a chance? He's using ZRS, so he's definitely wanting to catch up on time. I do think he will manage to catch up, yeah. Cacarinas will be restarting the field. As it stands now, it's a double podium for the Alfa Romeo, so good stuff from them so far, but its strategy, that's a big question now, because which tire can make it to the end? Which tire will be faster until to the end, and will we see any more safety cars? Here we go, around the penultimate corner we go. Where will Cacarinas restart? I think he has restarted, and yes he has. It's a good restart. Toffee will not be close enough to challenge him for that race lead, as Ghost Rider is still disconnected. He'll start to be overtaken by everyone in the back. That's some people moving to the right to go for a move. Myth's very close to the Mercedes of Arrow. Will he go for a move down into turn 3? He's in that slipstream. Will he go for a dive? Yes, he does go for a dive. Still manages to brake on time and makes that move stick by the looks of it. They're still side by side. Arrow still putting his nose in, but it's not enough. Myth, that was an amazing move from him. Goes up into P7 now because he also overtook the AI of Ghost Rider. Here. And that is just Ghost Rider getting overtaken by basically everyone, as Dave is also disconnected. So we have 2 disconnected drivers on the field currently. Here we go, Toffee on that softer tire will be quicker than Cacarinas on those hards. Where can Toffee potentially get past Cacarinas for the race lead? Cacarinas has so far led every single lap of this race. If he wants to get a good Grand Slam, he needs to keep that one going and also get that fastest lap if he can. However, that will be pretty difficult. It is difficult to get a Grand Slam, especially in such a competitive field. As Bolt is up in P4 actually, he made up a couple of positions of the restart, and crucially for him, he is within that DRS range as it stands now to the top 3. So he started last. He's made up 16 positions, so that is incredible stuff from Baltas, as D-Heat gets a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits. And he finds himself down into P13 after he had that damage on that first lap. His race has just gone downhill. But let's see, can he make up for it? He's definitely a driver that has been very rapid but very unlucky in these past few races, and he really just deserves a race win, to be honest. So in the here up front we see Martijn making a move on the McLaren. I think Chris said that he has damage, so rear wing damage means you get less downforce on that rear wing, but less downforce means more straight line speed on the straight, which I guess has his advantage, but also disadvantage. Well, Martijn, despite having that rear wing damage, he does need to be a bit cautious. Maybe that's why he opted to go into the soft tires, so he could have more grip. With that rear wing damage, should have that extra straight line speed. Let's see. Is that straight line speed enough to get past the Haas? He's absolutely flying on the straight, pulls alongside and ahead before the braking zone. That was without DRS. He just flew past the Haas there. He's up into the point scoring positions now as Fat Cat goes up, gets a 3-second penalty. Sorry. The top 4 are in a train of their own. The gap between top 4 and 2 myths is 2 seconds. 2 seconds, as myths actually completely missed that. Has made up many positions. Here's Mr. Bust, who's very close to the Mercedes of Arrow. He has got DRS on him. We go for a move at the end of this straight. It will be risky. I don't think it's close enough. He will probably wait until this next DRS straight here. He gets a much better exit compared to Arrow. Will he go for it down into the braking? So Arrow defends the inside line, but I don't think it will be enough to stop that superior Alpine with that DRS on that softer compound from overtaking him. And Mr. Boss goes up into P8 with a brilliant move. Jakes and Fat Cat, something happened to them. I think one of them has from wing damage. Fat Cat has from wing damage. His left end plate is missing, so he'll need to pit and repair that one. That will cost him a lot of time. Does he stay out? No, he doesn't. He pits. Here we go, Chewy Toffee very close to Kakarinas. Will we see a race lead change for the first time in this race? Kakarinas has the inside line. Chewy Toffee backs out of it, and Kakarinas still stays in the lead. For now, Baltus very close to the Alto Alfa Romeo. Both Alfa Romeos will need to defend here in this case. How do you say it? I forgot to speak English, but let's see, is Baltus close enough to overtake Tixnix in this straight here? He's not using ZRS, so he's not committed to go for a move yet. Chewy on the other hand will definitely be committed to go for a move on that softer compound as well. Can he get a better exit? Not quite, even has a bit of a snap. That will cost him a bit of time, and I don't think he's close enough to have a look down the inside into the next corner. No, he's not close enough. He stays back from now. Baltus was definitely very close to the Alfa Romeo. Oh, Baltus down the inside into the fast right-hander. Oh, what would have been an incredible move if he made that one stick. And that battling, that line, he made the Alfa Romeo compromise this line, and he almost dropped out of DRS as something happened to Ghost Rider. He's retired from the race. What happened to Ghost Rider? I think he lost it on the traction and went into the wall. So both Ferraris will not be finishing the race. Let's go back to the battle for the lead here. Chewy Toffee still putting pressure on the race leader, Kakarinas, but he's still not close enough to have a look on for a move there yet. Is Tixnix close enough to have that DRS? I think he is just about. So he can defend from Baltus in this long straight here. Yet again another retirement. And that is the Haas of Deadly Millen, who I think lost it. Oh my, that car is flying. And that brings out the safety car. Second safety car of this race. Will we see anyone pitting onto the softs to extend that tire until the end, or will we see anyone pitting onto the mediums? I think the hard runners should definitely pit onto a new set of mediums, because if they don't, they'll be in big trouble for the race. Kakarinas does pit. Does Chewy Toffee pit? Yes, he does. Tixnix. It will be a double stack for Alfa Romeos. I think Baltus might get track position on Tixnix. He's very close to him. I think, yes, Baltus should be getting track position on the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is really holding them up to not be held up in the pits. But Tixnix is slightly held up. Has Baltus come out ahead of him? Oh. Yes, he has. Baltus has overtaken Tixnix in the pits then. So Baltus is in onto a net P3. Jake's the only driver to not pit for new tires, he'll be much lower to every single driver behind him. He'll get overtaken rapidly, and if he wants a chance to have aim points, he'll need to defend, just like Fernando Alonso. Let me have a sip of water. Well then, I think we will we will be restarting on the next lap. As reverse actually pitted onto what is, by the looks of it, a new set of medium tires. Well then, it will be an interesting restart. We have Jakes in P3 on old hard tires. The grip difference between him and the rest of the field will be massive, and I can imagine that he would get overtaken by basically everyone in around potentially 8 and 9 laps time. But hopefully the drivers keep it clean, though he will be a bit slower on the exits and the corners, so hopefully they avoid making contact with him and overtake him at the right time, at the right place. Safety car in this lap. Kakarinas restarting the field for the second time in this race. Last time around he got a decent restart, can improve from that though from Tree Toffee, and this time around, crucially, they're on the same tire, so they will both be on equal performance grip wise. And will that make a difference? Last time around he restarted before the final corner. Will we see Kakarinas do the same, or will he restart a bit earlier? He's taking a wide line. Does he restart off the final corner? Oh, people pushing each other there, but there we go. We have restarted, and it is a much better restart than what it was last time around, and he's already got a half-second gap to Chuitov behind him. Let's take a look with Baltas here, because he's got Jakes in front of him. He's on much older tires. Baltas already gaining on the McLaren, pulling alongside. Is he close enough to go for a move? He switches back to the inside and brakes for the inside. He's got so much more grip, so much more confidence. Baltas is up into P3 now. Jake's already under pressure from Tixnix, going side by side. Tixnix goes slightly off track. He backs out. Oh, here comes Myths, and through goes Myths from the Alfa Romeo, and very soon from the McLaren as well. We will have so much more grip. We will have the slipstream as well. You can see the top 3 have already pulled away from this pack by an incredible amount, but here we go. Myths gets past Jakes. Tixnix is looking to get involved in this battle as well. He's in that slipstream of the McLaren, side by side with the McLaren, and into the S's we go. Tixnix is ahead. The Aston Martin of Martin is looking to get involved as well. Does he have the straight line speed to have a look into the next braking zone? He has a look and he goes for the dive. Massive dive, but they make a bit of contact. I think both parties managed to get away with no damage, but here comes Crumpet, and now it's through goes Crumpet's moment. Oh, Crumpet's up into P6 now. As Martin has lost the position once again to Jakes. Martin will have that slipstream though to Jakes, and I think Martin will be winning this drag race down all the way down into turn 1, and this time around Martin has made the move successfully stick. Now we're going to look on board with Mr. Bust. Where can Mr. Bust get past the McLaren? Not in this section. He stays back from now. The Haas of D Heats is looking to overtake Mr. Bust actually, but he's not quite close enough to make that move stick in the back. That's Snaf getting past Fat Cat, and that Snaf goes up to B13. Oh, you can already see how much more Mr. Bust is gaining behind the McLaren. Will he get past him on this straight? He's using his ZRS. So is the McLaren. Side by side through this long straight we go now. You can see D-Heats is looking to get involved as well. D-Heats potentially overtaking the McLaren as well. You can already see how much time, how much main positions Jakes has lost already. And Jakes cuts the track. He loses even more positions as a result of that. He gets passed by both Mercedes, and Fat Cat looking to get involved as well. And Jakes goes down the inside of the Mercedes and made a bit of contact. Fat Cat now hits the back of the McLaren. As the Mercedes gives the position back to the McLaren. What's going on here? And Fat Cat will have those better lines to this section here. Ivan does have a bit of a snap that may have ruined his exit a bit, as he has a big snap, almost spinning it into the wall, but he managed to save it just on time. And that's now Snap ahead of the McLaren and up into P12. Verse and Fat Cat fighting it out in the back. You can see Fat Cat maintaining that lead over Verse. Well then, this is the battle I'm looking forward to. Baltus versus Chewy Toffee. The battle for second place. Oh, as Baltus goes off track, and that gets him a 3-second penalty. And that can massively influence his race result. Baltus will have the DRS though, so it should be an easy move for Baltus. He should fly past. He's not flying past. He is side by side though, heading into the section here. Fat Cat retires from the race. The virtual safety car has been deployed. It's not a safety car. But it is a virtual safety car. Very interesting then. Kakarinas has pulled away with it. He's got a 4.5 second gap to Baltus in front. Behind, sorry. As Baltus pits, many people pitting, I would believe that would be a new set of soft tires. So many people has pitted. This race has taken a big turn. Tritoffy leads, Tixix in second, Martijn in third place. While the rest of the field have all pitted onto a new set of soft tires. And we've seen this happen in so many other races this season, where some people stay out, others pit at their new set of softs, and it's just about who can get through the field the fastest. That's Dave, who is still out of the session. Hasn't managed to join back, but he finds himself in 5th place after not pitting. But this time around, Kakarinas is not leading the race anymore. It's actually Tritoffy who leads the race for the first time in this race. It won't be a Grand Slam for Kakarinas, fortunately. It was looking very likely though if this safety car wouldn't have come out. should be one more lap under the safety car, so we'll get restarted at the end of lap 23, and that means we will have 6 laps of racing, including the final lap. Those 6 laps is more than enough to, those softs will easily make it to the end, and they will have the grip advantage all the way to the end compared to these medium runners who stayed out. There you go, safety car in this lap. And for the first time in this race, Chuitofi will be restarting the field behind him. He's got Tick Snakes behind him on the mediums, Martijn on the mediums as well. Then Kakarina is the first runner on the softs. Let's see. Kakarinas will need to get past these drivers as soon as he can to find himself under zero pressure from the other soft runners behind. He needs to make quick work out of these guys and not lose too much time and potentially even be overtaken by Baltas, who's the closest driver behind on the softs. But here we go, Chuitofi will be restarting the field. We're going around the final corner now. And has Chuitofi restarted? He has restarted, but it's not a good restart at all. Dixis is already in his slipstream and slightly gaining. I don't think he's close enough to go for a move. Martijn certainly is. He pulls alongside. Is he close enough down the inside? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the grip. As now Kakarinas gets forced off by Martijn onto the grass. Baltas lost a position to midst of the restart. As Baltas looking to go down the inside. Does he make the move stick? Yes, he does make the move stick. What a late dive and what an incredible move for Baltas. He gets back that 5th place as many people switching positions in the back. Oh, that's Alpine losing it on the straight. Keeping it out of the wall there, surprisingly. Mr. Bust. That was probably contact with another driver there. And now he finds himself under pressure from the Mercedes, side by side with the Mercedes now. But here we go, Martijn makes a move on the Red Bull. Does he make contact? Yes, he does. Martijn has spun out. Oh my, what has happened? Kakarinas has wing damage. Kakarinas has wing damage. He will be losing so much time. Now it's Mitz getting past Baltas. Baltas down the inside again of Mitz. This is getting very messy between these guys. Dixis has spun out. He finds himself in final place now. Chuitofi is leading the race by 1.5 second gap. Baltas is in 4th place, but remember, he has that 3-second penalty that will massively influence his race result. In the back we see Will Williams and the Haas fighting it out there, pulling into the slipstream of each other. Also in the back, the Mercedes going into the wall. My god, what is going on here? D-Heats looking to go down the inside of the Williams, not close enough. And he's too far back in the straight here to go for a move. Someone has spun out. That is Verse, the Williams spinning out after turn 1. Chuitofi is still leading the way with a 1.3 second gap. Kakarinas still in 2nd place despite that from wing damage. Mitz in 3rd, Baltas in 4th. I wonder now, does Chuitofi have enough laps remaining to win this race? Kakarinas is actually losing time to Chuitofi because of that from wing damage despite having the softer compound as well. As there we go, that has makes a move on the Williams for P5. D-Heat has managed to make a brilliant comeback from this race after starting 2nd, and he's still not finished. He's still looking to overtake even more people. Missed the fence the inside line from Baltas. Baltas will get the better exit and is almost alongside into the fast right-hander. Not close enough to go for a move yet, but missed with the poor exit out of that corner. They're still defending. Mitz defending basically every single corner. Baltas taps the back of Mitz. That will affect his exit. And around the outside, the Haas goes, but it doesn't quite have the grip to make that move stick. But here comes Baltus again now. The DRS has been enabled. Baltus within the slipstream. He won't have the DRS on this occasion, on this DRS rate, but he's very close to Mitz. He's in that slipstream. We have a look into the next corner. Mitz has the inside line completely covered. Baltus braking late to go around the outside. Does he have the grip to hang on with the Red Bull? Yes, he does. Down the inside now, and still side by side through the section. Now Mitz has the inside line. Does Valles have to concede the place? Yes, it does. And this battling is costing these guys so much time. Treetoff is running away with it in the lead. Here comes the Baltus again. This time around to off the DRS. Martijn retires from the session in the pits. DRS has been enabled for these drivers as Deheats is completely forced on to go onto the grass. We go 3 wide through the section here. It is Baltus with the inside line. Does he make the mistake? No, the Haas cuts him out and Deheats makes a double move on that straight. Baltus still within that DRS. The Haas also has the DRS. Mitz is now getting overtaken by everyone. Does Mitz have any damage? Crumpets looking to overtake Mitz now and does make the mistake just about. Almost making contact there, the Red Bull and the Williams. But Mitz is losing many positions. I think he will probably have damage. Well, this race is not over yet. Kakarin is within that DRS of Treetoffee. Let's take a look at the penalties. 3 seconds for Deheats, 3 seconds for Baltus. As it stands now, Crumpets will be finishing on the podium. But is Kakarin close enough to overtake Treetoffee despite having that wing damage? These guys will be gaining on them, will be rapidly gaining on them. Treetoffee will be slow in the mediums, Kakarin will be slow with the front wing damage. You can see they already gained half a second in that section there. Baltus is also still not done with his battle. He wants to win this race despite that 3 seconds. If he cannot win it on time, he will win it. He will try to win it on track. And with DRS now, will he go for a move onto the Haas? Yes, he does, pulling alongside. And with that extra straight line speed, does he make the move stick? Yes, he does in the S's. Baltus up into P3 now. Is Deeds close enough to get the AlphaTauri driver back? No, he's not. Baltus stays in P3 and he's got DRS to pull away slightly on this straight as well. Baltus has now caught up to the top 2. How fast can he get past him? The Haas has a bit of a moment in the back. In the back we see Flynn and Arrow fighting it out. Mitz still losing position, so surely Mitz has some kind of issue with his car because he's losing so much time. Here comes the Alpine of Mr. Bust. Is he close enough to go for a move on the Red Bull? He's using his DRS, but he doesn't quite have the straight line speed to have a look down into turn 1. Baltus is within that DRS now. Will he go for a move into the next corner? It doesn't look like he's close enough. He's even pulled the gap to Deheats behind. Baltus is absolutely flying in the stage of the race now. You can see how much Baltus is gaining on the Alfa Romeo front with that wing damage. He's almost pushing him out. Kakarinus gets a 3-second penalty. That could have been the best news for Treetoffee, because Treetoffee finds himself in the lead and he's got 3 drivers behind him with a 3-second penalty. But here comes Baltus now. He's got DRS on Kakarinus. Kakarinus has DRS on Treetoffee. Will Kakarinus go for a move on Treetoffee? Does he have the grip to stay close with him? No, that front wing damage is massively hurting him. But here comes Baltus now, pulling alongside of the Alfa Romeo, also gaining on Treetoffee in front, braking late. Kakarinus goes very wide. He's gone off track. He's made the same mistake he did in China in the first round, and this time around it has cost him once again another podium. He's dropped outside the podium places. But here's Baltus on Treetoffee now, shoulders out, 1 more lap to go. Baltus with the DRS pulling alongside, and that will be an easy move for Baltus on Treetoffee. Is that 1 lap enough though to pull a 3-second gap to Treetoffee? He's now gotten ahead of Treetoffee. Can Deheats get involved in this battle as well? Red Bull does not have DRS in front, but Deheats is not close enough to go for a move on Treetoffee. Baltus still leads for now, but he's got a 3-second penalty. He's got a big snap out of turn 4. Here comes Arrow now on the Alfa Romeo of Kakarinus. They make contact. Alfa Romeo and Mercedes have spun out. And there's even more damage. Kakarinus has no wing. I think Arrow managed to escape from any damage there, but they did make contact. Baltas still in the lead. Chewy Toffee in that DRS of Baltas. Will Chewy Toffee go for a move on Baltas? No, he plays it safe. But here comes D-Heat and he overtakes them both. D-Heat's around the outside of Baltas and now into the lead of the race. What a move from D-Heat. Can Baltas recover from it though? He's in that slipstream. D-Heat defends the inside line. Baltas can he get the switch back on him? Not quite. He goes with the outside line. He gets a better grip side by side through the section here. This is for the race position. Baltas goes around the outside back into the lead of the race. And my voice is slowly disappearing. But by the looks of it, I think Baltas has done it. Not quite. It's still not over yet. We still have the straight to go. D-Heat has the DRS, but Baltas wins it on track 3. Toffee finishes first place with penalties. Crumpets into P2. Baltas in third. What a race. Mr. Boston P5 after all those crashes. That was incredible. Crumpets in second place because he didn't get any penalties, while the drivers in front of him did have penalties. Consistency is key. My voice is just completely gone. Chewy Toffee with a debut win then for Red Bull. He didn't win on track though. However, did get very lucky with the battles behind him. Everything just went his way after that last safety car restart. And I think that's what gave him the win today. But luck is part of the game. Baltas in third place after what was some incredible moves from him. He started last, finished first on track. He did a last to first, but with penalties, he finishes in third place. Baltas, my driver of the day, for sure. Crumpets in second place, proves that consistency is key, and very well deserved podium from Crumpets as well. D-Heat's incredible comeback from him after being spun out and having no front wing after that first lap. He finishes in fourth, did finish second on track though. Mr. Bust managed to do a great recovery after that final restart to finish in fifth. Good result from him. Flynn in sixth, Myths in seventh after I think he had front wing damage in that after that final safety car restart. That's what really cost him, really held up the pack as well, which helped out Chewy Toffee. Snaff in 8th, Arrow in 9th and Tixnix in 10th, and that is the point scoring positions. Incredible race. Well, let's see. Can we get anyone in for some interviews? How? What? Why is the entire tier 2 grid? Always the entire tier 2 grid is in a VC. That's pretty insane. A concentration to the max there. Probably just speaking while you're driving, having to concentrate and multitasking to a different level. Don't see anyone joining for interviews. Question for the people that are still in the chat. How much do you rate this race out of 10? 8 out of 10. Great strategies and racing. Yes, indeed. Was pretty good. But a couple of cheeky incidents as well in the end there. But I mean, it's inevitable to not have incidents with sprint to the end with people on mixed tires as well. Yeah, exactly. I still don't see anyone for interviews. Yeah. Okay, well, if I don't see anyone for interviews, I guess end of this stream. And yeah, amazing race. Really enjoyed it. Full of action as well. And what I have to say is make sure to check out Tier 1 in 40 minutes. And I'll be racing there. I hope you will be watching the goatest of the goatest of the goat. And again, goat of commentators will be there. Mr. Darkness. So make sure to check it out as well. And I'll see you guys then.